Howdy, Aggie Land. It's your host here, Grant Gaspard, and with me is...
Kay Nagley. How are y'all? What's up? Let's see. What are we going to talk about today, Grant?
Well, first, intro. This is the Home Turf podcast presented by the Battalion. And basically what our podcast do is that we will report all things Aggie sports, from tennis to golf to football, basketball, you name it, we talk about it. And basically, that's what this is. We'll be posting every Monday morning at 6 on Apple, SoundCloud, YouTube, you name it. You can find it, and it will be there. Kay, why don't we talk about who we are, where we're from a little bit. So, Kay, what made you want to start doing sports reporting?
Yeah, so I'm from Katy, Texas. It's a very, very football popular town. Kind of grew up always knowing what football, obviously, we're nine-time state champions, so really football-oriented town. Kind of just got into that, got into sports a lot, played sports in high school, just kind of loved it and learned it. That's when I just really wanted to do that, and it was actually my sophomore year. I went to the same high school as like Seth Small.
Yeah.
And he was being recruited by Fisher that year, and we were on the track running sprints for volleyball. It was like our off season. And I just remember like looking back, and I just see this guy in like a really fancy, like nice like coat. And I was just like, who is that? And I just like I started walking closer. I'm like, oh my god, that's Jimbo Fisher. I was like, there's no way. And so I remember getting my phone out. I was taking a little video, and like all my friends were like, oh my god, of course she's freaking out, like, you know, because they all knew how crazy sports obsessed I was. And then flash forward to 2 years later, here I am getting an interview. I'm in press conferences and stuff. And I remember the first time I was in there, I was like, there's no way this is real. So come a long way. Man. I'm so excited to be doing this and on this podcast. So yeah, what about you, Grant?
I'm from a small town, Port Neches, Texas. It's about 5 minutes away from Port Arthur, 20 minutes away from Beaumont, home of Kendrick Perkins, man, Jamal Charles. A lot of big athletes come out of there, except me. I'm not an athlete. I just talk about athletes. I didn't know coming to college, I knew I wanted to work in the sports industry, but I didn't know what. And now God has led me here in this podcast on Home Turf, and I couldn't be more grateful, man. Yeah. Let's do a little recap of this week. What's been going on in Aggie sports, Kay?
Let's see. Well, we have women's basketball played Mizzou last Sunday. Fortunately, loss didn't go in their favor, 69-78. You know, women's basketball's been struggling a little bit, kind of in the same pattern. Men's just falling off, really. Had a loss to LSU, 64-70. Just not a great look for those two basketball teams. What else we got going on, Grant?
Tennis-wise, tennis has been winning. They won 2 back-to-back, swept Corpus and swept Prairie View, women's tennis team on Thursday. Friday, we had a dual swim and diving meet versus SMU in College Station. Men's team won 178-115, and women's team won 174-115. Also on Friday was the track and field meet at Texas Tech. It was just day one. Saturday, we had a bunch of stuff happening, including track and field at Tech Day 2, equestrian versus Baylor. They won 10-8. Women's team beat Princeton 4-1, and men's tennis beat UCLA 4-0. And then last event of Saturday was men's basketball. They played South Carolina, and all the people that went to the game knows what happened. Wasn't very pretty.
Yeah, I was at that game, and that was a little disappointing to see, but, you know, hopefully they can come off this loss and just make something out of it, so.
Yeah, don't forget, today, actually, women's tennis played again versus Texas Tech and swept them 4-0. Women's tennis has been playing really good lately, so has men's, and they're pretty exciting to watch, man. I might have to go catch a game soon.
Yeah,
you know?
For sure, especially seeing, like, some of the the smaller sports at this school just really, really doing good. Equestrian, tennis, track. These track athletes are insane this year, so I'm really excited just for these smaller sports to get some success.
Yeah. Hey, let's go ahead. Let's talk about these bigger sports real quick. Let's talk about men's basketball at LSU first.
Yeah, that was a rough one. They this once again just can't really put two halves together, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
LSU, great defensive team, and they definitely showed out in that aspect. And, I mean, on the road, it's always hard to win an SEC game. But I don't know. This team is just not, something's not clicking.
Yeah, this was of course, 19th-ranked LSU team, but this wasn't the same LSU team from previous games. They were missing a couple key players, such as Xavier Pinson and Darius Days were both absent, and Terry Eason was in and out of the game. Those are all three big players for LSU, crucial players, and the reason why they've been so successful. And when you are playing that LSU team, well coached, but they're missing some crucial players like that, you have to take advantage of the opportunity, and that's exactly what A&M did not do. One of the first things I want to talk about what we struggled at is fouls, penalties. We fouled them 25 times that game. 24 of their, 70 points? 24 of them came from free throws.
That's huge.
That's huge. We can't allow that. Those are just easy shots that you have to make that we struggled with a lot. LSU made their shots, ended up beating us by 8, or ended up beating us by 6. What else went wrong that game?
Yeah, the foul trouble was just definitely prominent in that game for sure. And you have to also think, if roles were reversed and A&M was being fouled 25 times and they were shooting free throws at the line, I don't know if they would have drained those 24 free throws. I think that's a weakness that this team has. Just shooting. It's been consistently just not great game after game.
Hey, shout out to Brandon Murray, freshman guard at LSU, man. You have 3 of those players out, especially one of your better guards in Xavier Pinson, and he came out and had a career high versus his 21 points that game. But you're right, like, free throws, that's a free shot to get free points, and when you're struggling from that, it's going to be a rough game because, we shot, 65% from the charity stripe.
Yeah, for sure. Dre's been pretty consistent on the 3. I would say he's probably their best 3 shooter, just in crunch time when they really need him. So I'm glad that he's getting the playing time he needs, and hopefully he can continue to do that. But, just because you're making a couple threes doesn't mean you're going to win the game. So.
Yeah, no, exactly. Yeah, Q had 20 points, finished with 20 points that night. Dre had 18. Let's get on to the South Carolina basketball game that happened last night.
Yes, so, I was there. I had promising hopes, I knew South Carolina was a tough team, but I also know A&M's a tough team. Looking just at attendance, it was pretty packed in there. I would say the lower student section deck was pretty filled out.
Yeah.
I know the attendance against Kentucky at home was 14,036.
A lot of people.
And I think it was around 13,000 with South Carolina at home. So really love to see fans starting to come out. It's just really a shame that they couldn't pull out a win.
Yeah, similar to Kentucky. We had that good attendance, and also something that was very similar in that game against South Carolina was the shooting percentage, and they shot 5 for 25 from the 3-point line. Barely 20% from the 3. We just couldn't get anything going behind the 3-point line. Aggies, little fun fact for you, have shot 6 for 47 against the past 2 home games against Kentucky and South Carolina. That's 12% from the 3. That is awful.
Yeah, you
that is horrible.
Expect to win SEC games like that. No shot. Doesn't matter how hard you work. Doesn't matter how many rebounds. At the end of the day, shooting is key, and if you're not making your shots, you're not winning.
Exactly. It looks like there's a lid out there for them. Then you go take that lid off, get in the gym, start grinding. Actually, press conference after a game, Henry Coleman was discussing that players already suited back up, went into the gym, started shooting right after the game.
Yeah, I saw a couple guys shooting when I was heading out. So of course that's great to see, but you want to see it translate in games. So
exactly. Something good that came out of there is Dr. Dre Gordon. He started off the first half kind of slow. He had no points in the first half. Kind of bounced back in the second, dropped 14 in the half, tried to breathe some life back into Reed Arena, except South Carolina was shooting a little better. They shot 47.4% from the 3-point line. Their top scorer, James Reese V, dropped his season high 20 points that night.
Yeah, South Carolina, I wouldn't say them necessarily the most talented team that A&M has played. They were definitely aggressive. I would say almost every other possession, one of the two teams was on the floor. They were fighting for the ball. They were aggressive. The South Carolina bench was getting a little feisty with the student section. Yeah, there was one player, I don't remember who it was, but he was horns down in. He was, like, saying all this stuff. He was just really, really kind of getting into it with the student section.
Yeah.
And they had to, like, block off to where when they were trying to leave. So they were getting rowdy in there. And, of course, you love to see Reed filled with fans. You just, of course, want to pull out a win for those fans, and they didn't do that. So
I actually went to Panda Express earlier today. Got a fortune cookie. Been needing some good luck. And my fortune cookie said, your doubts will turn to happiness soon. So my doubts about A&M
basketball
better turn around soon. I mean, that's all you got. When you can't shoot, it's all about putting up points. Yeah. You know, it's all about putting up. That's how you win the game, is scoring points. And when you cannot score, you're not gonna win games. So like, get in the lab, go shoot. Yeah, go shoot at the rec. Go shoot at practice, morning, night. Get in the lab and start shooting, man. Because if you're not making your shots, no matter how good you're doing, rebounding, you know, getting steals, creating turnovers, if you can't score, you're not going to win games.
Yeah, agreed. And with Tennessee coming up, Tennessee's a good team, and you don't want to wipe the floor with these kind of teams. You want to make a stand, and you want to have good shooting percentages, good rebound percentages. But I mean, when you're playing like this, I mean, it's hard to kind of turn that around. So hopefully they can. I hope your fortune cookie is right.
I hope so too, man. Need some good luck.
Yes, for sure.
So let's get on this Wednesday. What's happening this Wednesday, Kim?
This Wednesday is National Signing Day. So this has been a long, long journey for some of these 2022 guys. They've been, some of these guys have been committed since for 2 years almost, and been really loyal to Jimbo, to A&M, and that's something I love to see. I know probably a lot of other A&M fans do, and I just feel like it's all finally coming to close on signing day. So we already have 11 enrollees here, which is, obviously great. Got Evan Stewart, Gabriel Brownlow-Dindy, Connor Wigman, Bobby Taylor, Ish Harris, Jake Johnson, and his brother Max Johnson. They're all finally moved in, settling in here, and I think I personally love to see that. I love to see them getting these guys in early, put some weight on them, get some practice in them.
You also got that boy Denver Harris,
Denvo Bands,
aka
man.
Denvo Bands, in the building, and so they're all selling in right now. It's going good. What about who we expecting to see sign? Who are we hoping to see sign come Wednesday?
Yeah, so regardless of what happens on Wednesday, it will still be the best class ever documented in the modern era of recruiting, which is insane. And the fact that Jimbo is able to do that, it's a credit to him, a credit to his coaching staff, because that's amazing.
Yeah.
There's 3 guys that are potentially, really leaning A&M's way. Maybe not, maybe just speculation. Shamar Stewart, that's been a guy we've talked about for a long time. 5-star defensive lineman. He's in between Georgia, Miami, and A&M right now. And this guy has been playing or going through the recruiting process since the day he was a junior to literally on Wednesday. He has gone through every phase of recruiting. He's gone everywhere, took official visits, took unofficials, gone through really every phase of it, which, if I was a 5-star recruit too, I don't blame him. I would probably milk whatever I could out of that. So, but so hopefully I know he really loves A&M and he loves the environment here. Hopefully he wants to come out to College Station and play for Jimbo.
And you also were talking about Harold Perkins too. I understand he just decommitted from A&M, but we're still expecting him to sign back. Yeah. Is that right?
Yeah, so I have so he just decommitted. I think he just wants to keep his options open a little bit. Same thing, wants to milk everything he can. A lot of these guys like to do that. Linebacker, I think he would fit in great back there. He's number 8 player in the nation, so obviously this guy's good. Lacks a little bit of size. He's only 6 foot, I believe.
Yeah.
But then I've also heard rumors that even if Harold doesn't come here, rumors of players kind of switching around in the backfield. So I think Antonio Johnson, they're going to mix that up a little bit, which I would like to see personally. So, it isn't the end-all, be-all if we don't get Perkins. But I do think I'm still excited to see, this backfield and all the other recruits that have come in.
Yeah.
And one more person we got, he's a little more 50-50, not quite sure. Jacoby Matthews, 4-star safety out of Louisiana. He's in between LSU and A&M, kind of been back and forth, not really leaning either way. Personally, I think LSU is going to get him because he hasn't favored A&M too much, but those are 3 guys that we really, A&M's really trying to pull a floor in these last final minutes. And kind of just top this off, if Harold and Shamar, who I think are more favored to end up at A&M, if we get those guys, A&M will have the number 2, number 8, number 10, number 11, number 16, number 19, number 22, number 24, and number 46 players in the top 50 in the nation. That's insane.
That's crazy.
So
That's very impressive.
Still, it's hard to wrap my mind around how Jimbo and them got all these guys got to do this, and that's a lot of credit to some Bobby Taylor, some of those other guys that kind of helped out doing all this. But yeah, I'm excited for National Signing Day.
Yeah, Wednesday's gonna be real exciting, and
sure.
So besides the people enrolled, the guys who haven't enrolled yet, some of those guys like Walter Nolan, Chris Marshall, 2-sport athlete playing basketball and football. Dude's playing basketball season right now. Been watching some of his film. Dude can dunk. Also, guys like Eni White, Cam Dewberry. Who else is some of these players signed recently?
Yeah, there's just so many of them that are going to be just honestly great additions to Le'Veon Moss. He's running back, tight end from Sweden we got coming over here.
Exactly.
So
yeah, that's right.
I mean, you really just got people from everywhere. Hunter Erb, good offensive lineman. These guys are going to come to A&M and they're just going to grow. And they're going to do nothing but succeed, personally, I think, under this offensive and defensive schemes we have playing out. I know I'm pretty close friends with one of the guys on the team, and he just said already the chemistry of the team is so much better with these new enrollees. It's really just they're looking forward to next season. They're focused on what they need to do, and I really just think that's the motto you need to have, and you need to trust in your teammates and get it done. So
exactly, chemistry's key
for sure
for success. Like, you can have all the good pieces together, but if you don't line them upright, it's not never gonna be successful. But building that team chemistry early is important. Now there's a new face in the building.
There is. Mike Elko's gone to Duke. Wish him the best, but got a new person in here. Talk a little bit about that, Grant.
Yeah, new guy. DJ Durkin is in. New defensive coordinator for A&M. I don't know if you heard of him before, but Ole Miss co-defensive coordinator. He also, at Ole Miss, he led the SEC in tackles, finished number 3 in sacks. Some guys like Sam Williams, second in the SEC in sacks, just behind Will Anderson. He's coached some solid players over there. His defense seems to work. He also was a head coach at Maryland. And
however, there's a little controversy there.
Yeah, there's a little something happened over there at Maryland I feel like we should discuss. Offensive lineman Jordan McNair was one of the student athletes for DJ Durkin back in Merriman, which he passed away while running 110 sprints. And a lot of people question DJ Durkin's toxic culture environment that he built over there at Maryland. What happened over there?
Yeah, I didn't know too much about this. Started reading into it more and more whenever, Durkin was favored to be the DC, and then whenever he was announced, obviously, it was just apparently a coaching environment. It was really fearful and intimidating. Apparently a player was eating, he got the meal slapped out of his hands.
Really?
Weights, small objects were thrown around at the players. I mean, just kind of belittling his players, embarrassing them, things like that.
There's this funny story I read. A player whom coaches wanted to lose weight was forced to eat candy bars as he was forced to watch teammates work out. They supposedly made them overeat until they puked. Just bullying, making fun of people who couldn't get their weight up, making people feel bad, making people overeat. It was just a toxic environment over there. He got fired a year later, ended up at Ole Miss, and I don't think this is something we got to worry about here at A&M. He's not having full control. It's still Jimbo's team.
Yeah.
However, some of the stuff he was doing at Maryland should, raise some eyebrows, and definitely not something we're gonna have to worry about that as Jimbo's the head coach. Nothing he said Everything's still going to be ran by him.
Mm-hmm.
Just need a defensive-minded guy like DJ Jerkin to come in.
Yeah, for sure. And I think him being at Ole Miss last year probably put his head on made him know, hey, you're not in charge anymore. This is, you can run the defense, but I don't want you really saying much. And if I was Jimbo, I would not give him the complete, I'd kind of make him work his way to, well, he's only the co-defensive coordinator because Santucci got moved up as well. So I don't think he's going to have complete control over this team. Hopefully the defensive players, that have committed, obviously, too, are buying into what he wants to do. And I really think, I don't think Jimbo will give him full permission to handle it, but I know,
because I know all this stuff like slapping Mills out of hands, freaking throwing weights and stuff like that. That's not gonna fly here. I feel like under Jimbo, and great coach, great. I see based off the stats, based off the teams he's coached, has been, he's done a pretty successful job. Some of that culture stuff that hopefully he doesn't bring with him.
Yeah, I completely agree, and I don't think Jimbo will let him bring it, honestly. Jimbo's a very stand-up, old-school kind of guy, and I don't think that stuff will fly in his program.
Yeah. So, let's look into next week real quick. That's about all we have today. Let's look into what we got next week. Busy week, huh?
Yeah, we got a lot coming up. A lot of different sports. Hope to see him just continue to win. Hope basketball can find some wins this week.
Yeah.
Let's see, Sunday, we got women's golf, Lady Bulldog Invitational Day 2, so that's been happening already. We got men's tennis versus Arizona, women's basketball at Mississippi State. I believe that game's happening right now. And then lastly, men's tennis versus A&M Corpus Christi. What do we have to start off Monday?
Monday, we have men's golf. Day 1 is that day. Day 2 is Tuesday. They traveling to Florida for the C-Best Invitational. Tuesday as well, men's basketball is playing at Tennessee. If they can't turn things around, it's going to be another brutal game to watch.
Their losing streak will extend to 5. We don't want to see that.
Don't want to see. I want to talk about something exciting on this show. So first week we had to start off with some.
Hey, the fortune cookie.
Fortune cookie's gonna
work.
And I'm gonna take it right here and leave it. Thursday we have men and women swim and dive at Air Force Invitational. That's in Colorado Springs, Colorado. We have women's basketball at Arkansas on Thursday as well. Friday, day 2 of the men and women swim and dive meet. Track and field also is hosting the Charlie Thomas Invitational on Friday. Day 2 of that invitational continues Saturday, and so does day 3 of the men and women swim and dive meet. Women's tennis is playing SMU at home, and men's basketball will get a rematch with Missouri on Saturday.
Got a full week of sports, and hopefully, tennis has been killing it lately. Track, obviously, swim too. So hopefully, men's and women's basketball can kind of get something going, get some momentum built, and start to bring some of these wins back to College Station, as well have wins in College Station. So
we need our basketball teams to step it up, man. Give us.
Yes, we do.
Need some good luck. I feel like this fortune cookie's gonna bring it for sure. We also have this little thing that we do back here. I think we're gonna start it. We have Buzz Williams jacket.
When's it coming off? So last week we didn't get to put it out, but me and Grant talked about it, and Grant was pretty spot on with this prediction with South Carolina. He predicted jacket would be off before tip-off, and I texted him before the game yesterday. I was like, the jacket's already off.
The jacket's already off. Hey,
it came off.
So I'm counting that towards my record. I'm 1-0 on the jacket.
You are
so far. So these next 2 games against Tennessee and Missouri, when do you think the jacket's coming off?
I don't know. We'll see. My reasoning with it was the pink out game last week. So the back of his suit was like pink.
Yeah.
So I think he was trying to show off that a little bit.
That's why he took off the jacket.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I don't know if he's gonna have the whole pink thing at Tennessee. I think it's gonna stay on a little longer. I'm gonna go 4 minutes into the game versus Tennessee, and then Mizzou. That's a home game. I feel like it's gonna come off a little bit earlier. Excitement in College Station. If they win against Tennessee, I feel like it's coming off tip-off. But if they don't win against Tennessee, I'm saying probably about 5 minutes.
Yeah. Hey, this Tennessee game, it's a lot of tension building up in it. We're looking for a win. We need to get things going. Buzz Williams is going to be hot. He's going to need to take that jacket off. I give it tip-off again. He's going to go into tip-off, no jacket.
Tip-off.
I'm hitting the under again. Missouri, I give it 3 minutes until he takes it off. 3 minutes. I'll write it down right here, too. But, yeah, that's all that we have for today. This is me, your host, Grant, and with me is Kay. Thank y'all for listening, and see y'all next week.